Here's one of my most common questions of concern. Is it okay to be in ketosis all the time for years? Or are you doing more damage? Welcome everyone to my humble life. Now let's get into this pressing question of concern. Is it okay to be in ketosis all the time, every day, all day long, month, years, rewind, weeks? Yes, because you're not actually in ketosis all the time. When your blood sugar is getting too high, for example, when I had to drive my horse to the vet, and it's almost 2 hours away, it's the first time I had hauled a horse, my horse, and I could see him in the rear view mirror spinning. My anxiety was through the roof. And I'm pretty sure that upon arriving, there was no ketosis in my blood. There was none. There was glucose probably over 100. I could feel that burning anxiety of fear. I couldn't, somebody had shown me a picture of a horse, because the floorboards of the horse trailer with the horse stands on is wood. And a lot of these trailers are old, and somebody, has given me this trailer. And so I'm just my brain was like, his foot's gonna fall through the floorboard while I'm driving. I kept seeing this bloody mess, and I literally could not keep my cortisol and adrenaline in check. If your cortisol is running high, so is your blood sugar. And then instead of being stable, like when you're fully fat adapted, it starts bouncing. And if I stay in that state for too long, I will pop out of ketosis, and then my adrenals will start to be fried from over-secreting cortisol for hours and days on end. Also, my sleep will become affected because of high levels of cortisol, blood sugar spiking. And then over time, my thyroid might be affected, my reproductive hormones, the wee bit that I produce from my adrenals, growth hormone will not be secreted, and I'll start aging exponentially. And we don't want that. So yeah, it's very, very, very important to take care of yourself while dropping out those carbs. Essentially, you never have to worry about being in ketosis 24 hours a day, because ain't nobody in ketosis 24 hours a day. You can, in the majority, be in ketosis. And then you're going to have those moments where you have a spike in high glucose, like, for example, if you get sick, or if you break your ankle, if your inflammatory markers are up high, if you eat something that's histamine reactive and you feel terrible, your blood sugar is going to spike. If you don't sleep a full night, your blood sugar is going to become destabilized and spike. And all of these situational things will make it very difficult to be in ketosis all the time. In the very beginning, when I first started being on YouTube, people were doubting that anyone with a thyroid problem could be ketotic, because the thyroid needs sugar. Well, duh, you can make sugar out of muscle. In fact, you could have diabetic high glucose levels and a high A1C and a high insulin from eating strict carnivore. Yeah, because protein converts back into glucose, which every time I do a consultation, 9 times out of 10 people are eating too much protein. And then they have foamy urine and leaky gut. And I'm going to do a really good deep dive on leaky gut and how things like carnivore can make it worse. Keto can make it worse. And if you don't believe me, just read the comment section on my videos. I know. The whole point is to try to get your stress down. It's not about, you want to be in ketosis for the majority. You're never going to be all the time. So you don't have to worry about being in ketosis all the time. People who are underweight sometimes say, well, if I'm in ketosis and I'm just burning body fat, I'm going to turn into a puff of dust. And I'm like, no. Our bodies are really smart. They have checks and balances, regulatory systems, so that you just don't muscle waste and just turn into a puff cloud of smoke. Yeah. So it is absolutely amazing to be in ketosis most of the time. And the problem is, it's hard to get into ketosis. It's really hard. And sometimes it takes months, and sometimes it could take up to a year. And it really comes down to your discipline. But you don't have to worry about your thyroid and the red blood cells because we have gluconeogenesis. But we don't want to be constantly in a state of cortisol because you might go through pregnenolone steal. And then comes the flabby and the fat and the hot flashes and the I can't sleep and I'm depressed and the SSRIs that you shouldn't be on. I know, it's a whole thing. So comment below if you are afraid to get into ketosis all the time, or you're just struggling to get into ketosis because just because you're in ketosis for an hour does not mean you're going to fix your autoimmunity. You want to be more than less. You want to be 90% in ketosis, and I'm just using arbitrary percentages because nobody's measured the percentages, but based on my experience, you want to be in ketosis the majority of the day. And then one day, twice a week, you might go through an event that spikes your blood sugar up. But of course, we don't want our blood sugar to be spiked all the time because that's when your inflammation goes crazy. Then you can't get into ketosis. Or for those who have leaky gut, they have a hard time getting into ketosis. Or people with a gallbladder issue have a hard time because you're not converting the fat into a ketone. Cannot talk tonight. Ketone body to be used all over. If you need a consultation, you can go to stephanieperson.com. And if you're struggling with keto because your gallbladder, hypoglycemia, thyroid, there's also low carb, high fat. There's carnivore for your histamine. And really, you should not fast unless you are having food poisoning or super inflammatory reaction to something. Yeah. I also run a course, and you can sign up through stephanieperson.com. It's a monthly subscription, $15 a month. It's pretty awesome. And my Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. Facebook fan page is Stephanie the Business Person. I got energy, even though I moved my mom's entire house yesterday. Yeah. Started at 8 and ended at almost 3 o'clock in the morning. Almost a full 24 hours. And the crew that I hired, we are done. Not only did I have to move the majority of my mom's furniture, but I had to really decide what should be thrown away. And that took a long time. A long time. And then drive it almost 2 hours away. I know. We're almost done helping my mom with a bunch of stuff. And soon I can just focus on my house and then focus on you guys. And I'm out. Peace.